The Army of Me, an allegory on depression. In innocence, my two best friends were playfulness and fun, and along the paths of joy and creativity we'd run. Imagination told us stories about the Sea of Dreams, the land of abundance, the ranges of truth, and other places he had been. I had a crush on magic at Naivety's primary school, until jealousy and embarrassment made me appear the fool. I raced down the halls of humiliation to the basement of broken hearts, tried running away to the Isle of Sadness to make a hopeful start. Got lost though glimpsed freedom's scales, sails before punishment hunted me down. For misguided love and overprotection feared I might drown. After being handed over to intimidation, I was locked in insecurity, then eventually transferred onto a train bound for responsibility. At the border of hesitation, doubt and worry had embarked. Brothers, con men, friends in arms, I, their unknowing mark. Convinced at the end of the line in conformity I'd be lost, so I agreed to let them help me. I didn't care the cost. We chugged along through boredom and the desert of frustration, escaping somewhere in confusion near disappointment station. The nearest town was Obsession, where I fell in love with self-defeat. And after years of abuse, I ran until the sea of loneliness splashed my feet. Along the shores of loss, I stumbled upon the cliffs of injury, where waves of failure and rains of rejection came crashing down on me. When I finally surfaced and caught my breath in the coves of complacency, I soon discovered they tipped the cape of the wastelands of scarcity. Hopeless was the first who found me washed upon the sand. Blame nursed my wounds with lies, while resentment held my hand. They told me to the mountains of manipulation is where I should go. Climb the jagged peaks of self-pity to expectations plateau. The higher I rose, the temperature dropped thanks to the chill of fear. Took a wrong turn somewhere and slipped on the dangerous slopes of self-despair. I tumbled forever, it seemed, landing in desperation's tomb, where victims' choirs sang a lament to my impending doom. I tried to imagine the land of abundance and the ranges of truth, but memory too had abandoned me, stealing the stories of my youth. As I cowered in the shadows, instinct built a fortress to protect, with armor and shields and weapons from self-destruction and regret. In the dark, a battle raged with guilt and shame and need. Silently, anger and depression attacked, while pride just watched me bleed. They pillaged my very being and nearly took my life. I narrowly escaped through the empty caves of misery and strife. Tears of overwhelmment burned as they trickled down my cheek, and the poison from desperation's stings had left me trembling and weak. First the mist of disconnection, then the fog of powerlessness blinded me as I wandered aimlessly through the tunnels of unworthiness. I found the stream of suffering and sorrow and followed it to the heart, where a bolt of understanding pierced me as a dart. Falling to my knees, the spark of hope ignited and set me free. From the pools of self-reflection, I glimpsed into the army of me. Surrender lifted and carried my body, for the war had taken its toll, to the soothing waters of acceptance to heal my broken soul. The scars of cowardice became tattoos of feathers on my skin, silvery symbols to remind what released the phoenix of will within. Support threw down a harness and rope from somewhere high above. Encouragement and determination pulled me towards the light of love. Enthusiasm and gratitude met me at the top, where compassion and allowing flew me to my next stop. From the base of optimism, motivation was by my side, through the passive authenticity to where Mount Vulnerable resides. Its beauty painted a magnificent view from the valley of humility, and there in the meadows I learned from perspective the power of transparency. On the gentle hills of forgiveness, I met honor and integrity, who taught me the art of appreciation needed to reach serenity. Through the forests of forgiveness flowed faith in the river unknown. Nurturing the flowers of wisdom and trust, grace had planted and grown. From the summit of awareness, I could see as far as the Sea of Dreams and all the people and places on the journey taken between. Forgotten childhood friends, mystery and marvel reappeared, and in the symphony of silence, the voice of mindfulness rang clear. He said, remember the pools of self-reflection, and within them what was seen. For in the years to come, you'll travel again many roads where you have been, and all the faces falsely perceived to imprison or rescue thee were obeying the orders of ego under the misguided self-love of me. So inspire your emotional legions through partnership and love. Show how passion and enthusiasm may lift them all above. How fear is one's greatest ally, and to embrace uncertainty. For everything and everyone are the collective army of me. Thank you so very much for listening.